Something unusual is unfolding inside Burkina Faso's corridors of power. Whispers from the capital suggest a system of protection unlike anything in West Africa. When Captain Ibrahim Traoré moves, he's not surrounded by ordinary guards. He's encircled by precision, silence, and something far more deliberate: loyalty engineered for survival. To outsiders, they appear as shadows in uniform. To those who have seen them up close, they are a philosophy of vigilance built in a land where betrayal travels faster than bullets. Tonight, the world asks one question: who protects the protector? They call them many names: the Sentinel, Gaddafi, Number 3, but together, they form the invisible wall around Burkina Faso's leader. They don't salute in public, they don't smile for cameras, and they rarely speak. When Captain Traoré enters a room, they're already there, unseen yet felt, like the pause before a storm. One stands just behind him, face covered, eyes fixed. Another lingers at the far end of every corridor, a hand near his weapon but never resting on it. And somewhere, always listening, is the strategist known only as Number 3, the man who sees danger before it breathes. This is not a traditional presidential guard. It's an organism built, tested, and refined through fire. Each man has served with the captain in the Sahel, surviving ambushes, hunger, and the long silences of desert warfare. They fought beside him when there was no title to defend, no palace to guard, only purpose. Their allegiance isn't to the office of the president, it's to the man who once stood in the same trenches as them. Their loyalty is personal, earned through endurance, not ceremony. In a region where alliances shift overnight and coups are as common as headlines, this unit has redefined the meaning of protection. Every route the captain takes is rehearsed twice, once by intelligence, once by instinct. Every building he enters is stripped of unpredictability, lights, windows, even the reflection on polished marble. Their presence is an equation solved to ensure one outcome: the captain must walk out alive. What outsiders mistake for paranoia is, in their eyes, precision. They've learned that in the Sahel, survival is not a reflex, it's a method. Their training goes beyond muscle. Each man is conditioned in psychological awareness: how to detect manipulation, how to spot deceit, how to read the space between words. When Traoré speaks at rallies, one watches the horizon, another scans the crowd, and a third listens to the silence between applause. They don't wait for danger to appear, they study the behaviors that predict it. To them, coups don't start with bullets. They start with whispers, rumors that mutate into hesitation, hesitation that becomes betrayal. The creation of this unit wasn't about luxury or ego. When Captain Traoré took power in 2022, many expected another strongman to rise, another uniformed ruler chasing comfort and ceremony. Instead, he began rebuilding from within, searching not for elite officers, but for forgotten soldiers, the ones who had seen death and didn't flinch, who had served without recognition but never lost conviction. From the north came a wounded sniper he once pulled from a burning vehicle. From the east, a communications officer who uncovered a foreign-funded leak and refused to be bribed. Each recruit brought proof that loyalty is not emotion, it's evidence. Their initiation wasn't based on tactical skill alone. Traoré reportedly asked every candidate the same question: what would you protect first, my life or my mission? Those who answered "your life" were dismissed immediately, because the captain knew that loyalty to a person fades, but loyalty to an idea endures. This team wasn't built to guard a man. It was built to guard a message that Africa can secure itself without asking permission. Inside their compound, no media is allowed. No photos, no contact with outsiders. They train in silence, often at night, running live drills based on real coup scenarios. The exercise is simple: anticipate, adapt, survive. Their motto, whispered among themselves, is "visibility kills." They are ghosts in daylight, visible only when they need to remind the world that order exists. But behind their secrecy lies a deeper design. Each member carries a piece of the captain's strategic mind. The Sentinel leads proximity analysis, studying energy in the room, detecting deceit from a heartbeat, reading micro-expressions the way others read words. Gaddafi commands the reaction force trained to switch from escort to engagement in seconds, combining guerrilla reflexes with disciplined choreography. Number 3. The Quiet One. Oversees information, the invisible architect, who intercepts signals, tracks patterns, and reads intent before action. Together they operate like a closed circuit. One senses, one acts, one decides. Every morning before dawn, they review what they call the Horizon File. It's not about the next day, it's about the next 3. Movements, phone calls, moods within the army all mapped like constellations of risk. If a commander visits the same cafe twice, they take note. If a foreign diplomat cancels a trip, they ask why. Their logic is simple. Conspiracies don't begin in bunkers. They begin in routine. Predict the routine, and you predict the threat. This human-based intelligence stands in sharp contrast to Western models of security. Where others rely on satellites, drones, and expensive software, Traoré's philosophy is rooted in discipline and trust. In Africa, he believes stability isn't technological, it's personal. Systems fail when people stop believing in them. So he built a network of belief, not bureaucracy. In that sense, every man in his circle is both soldier and symbol. They embody the captain's conviction that sovereignty begins with self-reliance. Their efficiency has reshaped how power operates in Burkina Faso. Western analysts expected disarray. Instead, they found order. The military, once known for fractures, now moves with quiet synchronization. The intelligence leaks have stopped. Coup rumors fade before they reach command. And while critics abroad speak of isolation, citizens at home sense a new kind of calm, the calm that follows regained control. Yet this system raises an inevitable question. When does protection become control? Within Burkina Faso's leadership, access to the captain is now defined by the very men who guard him. They decide who gets close, which reports reach his desk first, which voices are safe to hear. It's not censorship, but prioritization. And in politics, prioritization is power. The stronger the shield becomes, the more it filters what it's meant to defend. That is the paradox of perfect security. It keeps danger out, but it can also keep reality out. Observers say the captain is aware of this risk. Despite the tightening circle, he continues to meet soldiers, visit provinces, and speak directly to civilians. He shakes hands in marketplaces, though every handshake is measured, every step choreographed. In each public appearance, the tension between trust and vigilance is visible, the leader's calm framed by the alert eyes of those who watch over him. It is the image of modern leadership in the Sahel, courage standing beside caution. This inner guard has become more than a security detail. It's a political statement. For decades, African leaders relied on foreign protection, French legions, UN contingents, private contractors. Their safety came at the cost of independence. Traoré reversed that equation. He built protection from within, guarded by men who speak his language, share his soil, and understand the weight of his mission. To his supporters, that decision marks the return of dignity. To his critics, it signals a dangerous concentration of power. But both sides agree it's working. Still, such precision carries consequences. The closer the captain's circle becomes, the more isolated leadership risks becoming. History has shown how revolutions can suffocate under their own vigilance. Sankara, Gaddafi, Lumumba, names that echo warnings through time. Each stood for transformation. Each was betrayed by proximity. Traoré's challenge is to maintain what they could not, a balance between security and openness, between conviction and communication. Inside Ouagadougou, life continues with an uneasy rhythm. The streets move slower, the crowds quieter, not with fear, but with awareness. People know that eyes are watching, not from above, but from within. For the first time in years, the city feels controlled not by occupation, but by attention. Every rumor is checked, every plan reconsidered. In that silence, some hear oppression, others hear the hum of stability. Foreign observers describe Burkina Faso as a case study in human security. There are fewer checkpoints than expected, fewer visible soldiers, yet nothing escapes observation. The Guards' network runs on psychology more than force. They understand that violence is the last language of instability. Anticipation is the first of order. That's why no footage exists of their operations. They succeed not through spectacle, but through prevention. Every coup that didn't happen, every bullet that never left its chamber, every threat that dissolved before it reached the news, that's their legacy. But even perfection has a limit. The more efficient a system becomes, the more fragile it is to human emotion. A single misread expression, a moment of hesitation, could turn caution into conflict. The Guard's silence now carries the weight of interpretation. Ministers measure their words, officers their tone, not out of fear of the captain, but of being misunderstood by those who protect him. In that sense, the Guardians have become part of the message. They are both shield and signal. Analysts say this moment defines the new era of African governance. Protection is no longer a symbol of weakness, nor is it a colonial service outsourced abroad. It's self-crafted, disciplined, and indigenous. But it also forces a deeper question. Can sovereignty survive secrecy? Every revolution that lasts must outgrow its guns. To truly endure, protection must evolve into institution. That, observers say, is the next test for Captain Traoré. Whether the discipline of his guards can become the discipline of his government. For now, the results are visible. Burkina Faso, once described as coup-prone, stands firmer than ever. The population rallies around a sense of ownership. The army follows a chain of belief rather than fear. Regional powers take note. And in quiet offices across the world, analysts rewrite their reports on African stability. The West predicted chaos. What they got was order engineered by Africans, sustained by conviction. Still, the paradox remains. The very system that protects the revolution could one day define its limits, because power, when fully insulated, risks losing the sound of the people who gave it voice. Protection can preserve a mission, but it can also trap it in silence. Every wall built for safety eventually asks its builder the same question: will you live behind it or die because of it? In the corridors of Ouagadougou's power, that question lingers. The masked sentinel stands where the captain stands. Gaddafi waits in the shadows. Number 3 listens to everything and says nothing. Their presence tells a larger story, the story of a continent learning to guard its own sovereignty, to secure its own destiny, and to trust its own silence. Because this was never only about the man they protect. It's about what his protection represents. The moment Africa stopped asking for guardians and became one itself. And that may be the most unusual thing of all.